What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Cyrus Obsidian here at Obsidian Games, here to bring you another episode of Local Diaries. So let's dive right in. So I'm one that doesn't typically like to repeat a deck, and I'm talking back-to-back days of playing this deck. But last night, since I did not get any recordings whatsoever for this, we're just gonna play the same deck that we played last night. Last night we had a Stampede event at our store way north, and we were able to take first place, go undefeated with this deck, playing against a lot of stun decks. So there was one combo deck in there that was Tenpai, Kashtira, Fiendsmith, but it seemed a little bit more of a stun than it was the Tenpai, Kashtira, Fiendsmith. But anyways, we played against some stun and we were able to go undefeated with this deck, which is pretty remarkable since, there are cards like Skill Drain, the Dominus cards. There was a lot of cards that were being thrown my way. Synchro Zone, the Continuous Trap at level 6 or higher doesn't, they can't attack. But there was a lot of that. But we did not care because we came to play in the dungeon. And the dungeon we were in and the dungeon we came out alive. We ended up topping with Mimighoul, which I have been in love with this deck. Since Impulse has seen a lot of Let's Play, I think Rogue is really great to play at this moment. So let me show you the profile that we played for last night and what we are going to play again tonight. And we'll just see how far we can go. We can keep the momentum up and maybe not play against some stun decks. So let's show you the profile and then head out to locals. Alrighty, so here is the profile that I did use and will be using again. So to kick things off, we are playing the one and only lovely Mimighoul Master with its servants of 3 Mimighoul Dragon, 3 Mimighoul Archfiend, 3 Mimighoul Fairy, 1 Slime, and 1 Armor. So I definitely liked this lineup last night, and I'm definitely continuing it today. I might change adding 1 more slime, but for now, I like it as it is. And then for the spells and traps, we are playing 3 copies of Dungeon, because you definitely need it. And we decided to make her up to 3, which honestly has paid off. And we are playing the one and only Mimighoul Charm, which Mimighoul Charm did come into a lot of my plays, or a lot of the plays I made last night, and we're hoping to keep that same momentum into tonight as well. And then 3 copies of Mimighoul Room, which Room, oh my gosh, that card is so broken. It is just so good. But yeah, that is the Mimighoul lineup. And as you can see, it's, pretty much almost maxing out as much as we can on it without seeing the bad ones. Which, hey, this is really good. Moving on to the non-engine, we are playing 3 copies of Triple Tactics Thrust. Ever since Talents got hit, we felt like we needed to play the 3rd copy of Thrust just to get into Talent more frequently, or even then into any of these other power spells, which is a 1-for-1, a Prod Prosperity, or even the power trap of Harpy's Featherstorm, which we never got to actually effectively use yesterday, but when it comes up, it comes up. And I did drop There Can Be Only One from this build from the last time I played to play these, because I think these are mandatory in some sense, because 1-for-1, you can discard any of your hand traps to get into your Mimighoul engine, and Product Prosperity, of course, is Prosperity, so you're digging for whatever you need, which is really nice and convenient as well. But yeah, I felt like Thrust needed to be moved from 2 to 3, just so that way we can see it a little bit more frequently, and again, just kind of like get into our engine, so that way we can either get into our Talents to hand rip, or into our Featherstorm to just kind of play a control-based like game. And then moving to our hand traps, we are playing 3 copies of Nibiru the Primal Being, 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy of Spring, 3 copies of Droll, and 3 copies of Imperm. So even though Shifter is gone, this deck is still great. We never needed Shifter in the first place. Shifter was just a great card to play as follow-up. So without Shifter, we're chilling. There is no No need to panic or worry about not having like graveyard removal, because the deck didn't really need it. Yes, we could play under it, which is nice, but Shifter was not mandatory. So I think a good replacement is Droll, because Droll does, you know, pretty much the same thing. It can shut down a turn if needed, depending on what you're playing against, right? Moving to the extra deck, we are playing the F-Zero package with F-Zero, Utopic Draco Future, and Utopic Future. 1 Lyrilisk Assembled Nightingale, 1 Throne, 1 Ripplebird, 2 Giant Mimighoul, 1 Downard, 1 Typhon, 2 Zeus. Where is my second copy of Zeus? Just imagine there's a second copy of Zeus there. 1 Anima, 1 IP, 1 SP, and 1 access code talker. So I have thoroughly enjoyed this build. This has been like really consistent at getting us what we need. There's the Zeus. I was trying to at one point play 2 Typhon with 2 Zeus, but it just was not working in my favor, so we decided to drop it and play 2 Zeus still. We just banished 1 off of Prosperity. I couldn't think of what to drop to keep the second Typhon, because I felt like all the links were at least mandatory, and the Exceeds as well. Because I mean, there are a lot of times where like there are certain plays that you need to make to break boards, and the 2 Zeus has been really nice, because you go into 1 off of Downard and then 1 and 2 with Lyrilisk Assembled Nightingale, which is nice. And then as for the side deck, you can, if you cannot afford these cards here, you know, substitute them as you will. I am playing 3 copies of Perulia and 3 copies of Fuelos, since those did, or at least Fuelos got reprinted in Stampede. I was able to get my hands on some after some clever negotiating. Perulias I've had for a while, as you guys have known, but if you cannot afford these, I would definitely drop these for DD Crows and maybe Ghost Bells, just depending on what you're seeing at your locals. I think those are really solid choices. You know, you're still getting graveyard removal and graveyard hate, but you're also, if you're not wanting to play those, you can play things like Chaos Hunter, Lancia. If you're seeing a lot of Malice, any board breakers, really up to you. And then I do complement it with 3 copies of Ghost Ogre, because this card goes super hard right now in the meta, which is awesome. I then do play 3 copies of Books of Eclipse, because Eclipse in this deck is just really great. It definitely surprises people when I play the book going second, but honestly I think it is really good, because you can flip down their stuff, and Giant Mimighoul will let you pop face-up cards equal to the number of face-downs they control. It's not face-down Mimighouls, it's just face-down monsters they control, and you're able to burn them. So I mean, like, you know, just swing in for some damage with Master, and then just burn for the rest. It's really clever when you think about it. And then I do play some one-off traps of DDG, Dimensional Barrier, and then Evenly Matched. Since we do main thrust, usually Featherstorm comes out for one of these, depending on what we need, whether we're going first into another match, or into a round 3, or a game 2. And same thing with D-Barrier, or if we're going second into a game 2, just being able to evenly the board and then just take control of it, I think is really great. But that is the side, extra, and main. So let's head to locals to see if we can repeat what we did last night.
What is going on? So here we are at Duke City. We just finished round 2. So let me go back to round 1. Round 1, we're playing against Azamino Whitewoods. We lose the die roll, so my opponent goes first. Game 1, we were able to droll him. He passed turn to me. We did our 1 search, he drolled me. We tried playing as much as we could, and I think we just made Zeus pass and just nuked the board, and we just kind of held on control with Zeus, and then we were able to full combo off and just burn him for, kill him for game. Game 2, he went first again. This time we did side in the Perulias and Fuelos. We saw Fuelos, and we drew into another Fuelos, because it did resolve. We just draw into Perulias as well. We had Nib in starting hand, so we just waited till he kept going, and then we just nibbed him before he was able to get an Omni out with the Azamina engine. and we just full comboed. We weren't able to kill him quite yet, but then we just made giant and we just gave him 2 Mimis, burned him for the rest of the damage, and we took the game. So we're able to take it 2-0 there, which was nice. And then round 2, we play against another White Woods Azamina. Toy box engine though, so that's the one I'm more familiar with. Game 1, we bricked so hard, we drew all of our 1-as. We drew for turn, and it was a Ash Blossom, and I was like, all right, let's just go game 2. Game 2, we were able to go full combo. We were able to like do the shenanigans, control the board. We were just do what Mimighoul does. Game 3, we drew Dog Water, and it was just, yeah, we weren't drawing. It was like, of course we drew. And what I should have done too, like I could have made Zeus the board and just controlled off of Zeus. I got a little greedy and I was like, okay, I think I can break this board and just like do things, but I got greedy and was gambling on Maker, like giving me the Archfiend, him the Slime, and yeah, of course, he got the Archfiend, I got the Slime, and I'm like, I'm not gonna summon it. So yeah, and we even Brulied him too, so that was nice, but it wasn't enough. So we ended up losing. We're 1-1 with 2 more rounds left. I'm pretty hopeful. I love Mimighoul. Like I said, it is my pet deck. One of my pet decks, obviously, because I got many. I think it's a great rogue deck too. Definitely, if you can afford the mulch armies, I would definitely go ahead and get them. Because like all the other staples are pretty cheap, and Mimighoul is just so fun to play. And yes, it can be toxic. Like, you know, we do play Featherstorm. We used to play There Can Be Only One, but we have since dropped those just to get a little bit more consistent with it. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. Round 3, play against Labyrinth. So last time we played against Labyrinth with this deck, this was before YCS Houston and Kai's insane deck profile. So we go game 1, we finally win a die roll and go first. We're able to set up a pretty decent board and we're able to control it and we just take it. Game 2, he goes first, and yeah, D-Barrier Daruma. No coming back from that. And then we go first again, game 3, and it was Dog Water. He had the impulse. He had it all. He was able to set D-Barrier and activate it on my turn. So I was like, okay, we ain't winning. So we just took the L, the fat L. We tried our hardest, but once he had impulsed in game 2 as well from hand, and impulsed in game 3 in hand, so I was like, well, I did. And then the deep barrier just sealed the deal too, so I was like, okay. There ain't no coming back from that. So we ended up taking the L, 1-2. You know, we're playing a lot better decks tonight, and you know, the deck list hasn't changed since we played it last night. Our hands have just been really unlucky too, just like, can attribute to that too, that the hands have just been like not the best, but we still try to play out as much as we could and just see what happens. I mean, we got one more round, so we'll see. So what a crazy last round. Believe it or not, we played against another White Forest Azamina toy box. So tonight's the night, I guess, to be playing that deck, and it's mainly for the hype of Alliance Insight, where it's getting the new Azamina stuff, which is the lore for the Diabell stars. I mean, this is really cool. But anyhow, we win the die roll with a resounding 12. You know, we won the die roll and we lost, so we're going to see if winning the die roll this time will actually do us good. We're able to go full. No, we got drolled, so we weren't able to full combo, but we were able to just like kind of mitigate the board as much as we could, and we eventually won in the grind. Game 2, my opponent went first. We had Ash, Nib, Droll. We had the hand traps, but I mean, we also had Maker and Room, so I was like, okay, as long as Maker resolves, we can combo off, we'll be fine. We go Maker, gets Ashed, we set the Room pass. We kept Ash and Nib in our hand. They were going off and off. We hit them with the Ash on the Deception. And then right as soon as I saw their board was full, I was like, all right, we'll go Nib. We had a Room a little bit earlier, which did suck, but it was the right call to make. To summon Dragon get us a Maker, and we were able to just kind of like mitigate and just combo from after that point. It was a little bit of a grind, but we were able to just maintain the speed of it, and we were able to keep it. And then, you know, we eventually were able to swing some damage with Master. Unfortunately, we had to lose the equip because we got booked. Because it would have been 4,000, which was enough for game, but we were able to just give him a face down, burn with giant, and we just took the game from there. So we were able to take it 2-0 to end the night, 2-2, not topping. Had we had won, but it's okay. I'm definitely enjoying the experience of it. There's some things that I could have changed. Like, again, I could have gone into the Literalist engine and just gone downward Zeus and just controlled the board with Zeus. But we could have done the same thing in this match too, but I felt like we had a better play in mind, and we did initially, and we just kind of had to like grind it out a little bit, but it is what it is. So not too bad ending 2-2 after an undefeated night. So I mean, we combine the scores, it's 5-2 for playing the deck back to back, but 3-0, 2-2 to be, you know, an nth adventure for Mimighoul. I definitely think, again, if you can like pick up Mimighoul, definitely pick it up. You know, as long as flip monsters come out, they're the kind of support for it. But who knows? There's a lot of gimmicky things that you can do and play with flip monsters. So, you know, except for Impulse. Impulse is the bane of our existence, but we don't talk about that. But that's it for this local diaries. You guys, thanks for joining along, tag along, like, comment, share, subscribe. You know, let me know what you think of the profile. Any questions that you got about it? Definitely like those. And if you do ask in Spanish, I do reply back in Spanish. I'm not Google translating this. I do understand the language, and I do apologize for those that did watch that video of me in Spanish. It's been a long time since I've actually spoken the language fully, let alone with Yu-Gi-Oh terms in mind too. So that was a little bit of a learning curve, but if you guys want more of that, let me know. We can definitely make that happen, but we'll pass it over to you.